This is Mission Control Houston. It's been a very busy week for the 6-member Expedition 35 crew aboard this station. 3 of the crew members began their first full week of operations aboard the station following their March 28th launch and docking to the complex. They were allocated time for orientation, familiarization, and adaptation to their new home for the next 5.5 months. Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield, serving as the commander of Expedition 35, led Pavel Vinogradov, Alexander Mazurkin, and Chris Cassidy through a training exercise early in the week in emergency equipment location and translation paths in the event of any emergency aboard the complex. It's an exercise very similar to kind of fire drill training that you would perform on the ground. The week included closeout of equipment used during the coarsening in solid liquid mixtures experiment, which studied the how crystals known as dendrites form as metal alloy becomes solid. The experiment was conducted during the past several weeks by the station crew and returned back to Earth aboard the Dragon spacecraft. An ongoing experiment known as Energy, changes in a crew member's energy balance and total energy expenditures following long-term space flight. Tom Marshburn's been conducting activities associated with that. Periodic maintenance is a routine aboard the station, and this week, of course, was no different. Marshburn removed and replaced a pump assembly associated with the urine processing assembly, and he also helped Hadfield early in the week with upgrading components in the high-rate communications system rack inside the Destiny laboratory. In the design, development, and testing for this new Ku-band communications system for the last 4+ years, the system now upgrades all of the communication systems aboard the station, including downlink television views. It has increased those views from 4 to 6 now, and also increased the communications channels from 2 to 4. It's also greatly increased the ability to transmit data from ongoing experiments to investigators on the ground. The work on that system will continue into next week as well, with the installation next Thursday of the redundant KU Communications Unit number 1 before officially being completed, but that system already is working quite well. Mazurkin worked with a constant experiment on the station's Russian side of the station, which observes the reaction of enzymes in microgravity. He also worked with another experiment known as Cascade, which investigates the cultivation processes of microorganisms, animal and human cells in the space environment. Vinogradov and Romanenko reviewed procedures for their upcoming spacewalk scheduled for April 19th. They will install and remove some experiments on the outside of the station, and also replace a reflector that's associated with rendezvous and docking of the next European Space Agency automated transfer vehicle known as the Albert Einstein, scheduled for launch and arrival at the station in June. Cassidy removed some equipment associated with Robonaut 2, the humanoid robot on board the station. There'll be some activity associated with that next week. And Hadfield and Marshburn performed some ultrasound eye scans and intraocular pressure measurements as part of their ongoing health maintenance system activities. Cassidy, of course, set up and operated the Burning and Suppression of Solids experiment, or BASS, which studies how solid materials burn and extinguish in microgravity. That obviously can help with improving computational models here on the ground. Station's altitude was boosted by about 1.3 statute miles, setting the stage for the departure of the Progress 49 cargo vehicle, and also the departure of the Soyuz 33 TMA-07M spacecraft that will bring Hadfield, Romanenko, and Marshburn home on May 13th. It also sets the stage for the launch of the next expedition crew members to the station in late May. And the crew wrapped up the week with observation of several science experiments, and also talked with flight controllers about next week's schedule as well. They'll spend the weekend fairly quietly checking some experiments, conducting some human research, and visiting long distance with family and friends as well.